What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Bad Religion. I wanted to apologize. I have been a bit neglectful of the punk rock slash ska playlist in the last, week or so. I think I did one or two tunes, but bottom line, it has been an underserviced playlist recently. I do apologize. And I figured we get back to not only some Bad Religion, but some classic Bad Religion. I have been going through some of their more recent albums recently. But yeah, there's still some songs on this left to go. And again, as someone who's lived in Southern California my entire life, it feels like this song has been a little bit too long coming. We're talking Land of Competition. A song I think is very well written, again, as someone who sort of, I've lived here for all 41 plus years of my life. I've lived in a lot of different cities around Orange County, but I've also spent a lot of time in LA, not only going to rave parties and punk shows, but I've known some people who live up there. My sister's family lives in LA County. So yeah, bottom line, I spent a lot of time in LA. I've also been in San Diego, although for this song it's a little bit less relevant. But yeah, I've been all over Southern California, and this song speaks to and this one, again, lyrics, they're an engagement between artist and listener, and obviously you will filter something through your own prism, so people in different parts of the country or world will hear this song and perhaps draw parallels, if not like direct similarities or analogies between perhaps sociocultural elements in cities that they come from or regions that they've known for a very long time. But again, for me, this takes on a more direct in terms of exactly what Greg is talking about, because I'm from Southern California, and I do understand a lot of what he's talking about in this song, which is to say, my understanding is that this song is basically written as Greg had come back. He went to Wisconsin. He went to high school in LA. I think it's Van Nuys High School. I'm trying to remember the specific high school, but that's where like the Bad Religion guys met. They started the band when they were actually still in high school. And this would have been like 1980 basically. But yeah, he eventually went to Wisconsin for a couple years. I think it was to like get his undergrad degree. And then he came back to Los Angeles, and I think he said this song. I saw an interview at one point, and I think he said this song was kind of like his way of coming to terms and like coming home to Los Angeles for better or worse. And the song speaks lyrically to sociocultural elements in Southern California society, which is to say the way in which, not just through Hollywood, but through other forms of like entertainment and mass media in the LA market especially, which is, one of the major American and even international markets. There's a sort of like glitz and a glamour and a plasticity, a sort of, an aping of celebrities, and a sort of like paying way too much close attention to the plastic idiots with whom they compete, which is a line in the song. And it's also about the way in which, even on a, like, let's say, lower level, sometimes in Southern California, and maybe LA in particular, there is an approach to life, to music, to style, which is more about fashion. It's more about superficial veneer of authenticity rather than about actual ideas and, sort of critical thinking. And so the song also sort of chastises the sort of, the fashion rivalries and the like, people are like popular because they wear the coolest new clothes, not because they're necessarily interesting people who have, compelling ideas, or at least, are engaging with their personality and, willing to explore different things. So the song criticizes sort of like cultural elements of Southern California, social elements of Southern California, like crass materialistic considerations, and the way in which people will again go for glitz and like apparent sort of glamour rather than actual substance or meaning. So yeah, it's a sort of comprehensive criticism of the worst aspects of Southern California. Now again, I think there are aspects of different songs where I think Greg has written lyrics that are maybe not quite as caustic in terms of like, there's a recognition that, there's more than just one sociocultural flavor in Southern California, and there are like sort of, underground scenes and sort of like counterculture movements and so on. So yeah, I think if you look at their larger catalog, it's not quite so like one-sided in terms of its dismissal. Which reminds me, as I'm saying this, of a song by Goldfinger, which reminds me, I have this album and I don't think I've reacted to any songs from it. It might be a good way to start, actually. But there's a song by Goldfinger called "Fuck LA." And the song is saying like, oh, it's you can't go swimming unless you want to get hepatitis, and my motorcycle's been stolen, and all that, whatever. And then it's like, now don't get me wrong. It goes into this like lounge lizard sort of section, and he's like, look, I know LA's got some great people. It's even got some great bands, and they mention Bad Religion, but comically they say it like Badger Legion, which I've heard not just them, but I've heard some other people say. But yeah, the idea that in that song, Fuck LA, they stop and like, wait. We know there's some great people here, including Badger Legion or Bad Religion. So yeah, there's like a weird connection, and now I feel like I'm sort of obligated to react to that tune. But yeah, again, over the larger time span, I do think they have a nuanced view of this sort of geocultural environment in which they came of age as of a band and still, generally speaking, make their home. I know like Greg, I think he teaches in New York, and but I know like Epitaph and Brett's like running of the catalog is still in LA. So I know at least some of them are still based in LA. In any case, and in fact that reminds me, I don't think Brett tours with them anymore when they go around the country, around the world, but when they do shows in the Southern California area, I think Brett still does perform live with them. So with all that set up, let's get to it. This is Bad Religion from their album Suffer, 1988, and the tune is Land of Competition.
He's all alone. The cameras on them, they're in the land of competition. Southern California air
feeds them.
And they know they're the best 'cause of the way
Reference to Southern California smog. And then you are not welcome in their home.
Hey, see, there's a girl who sits and watches all up on the screen.
And also a boy who truly wants to destroy his hometown scene.
They both want to travel to the land of competition. Southern California will destroy them. And they won't be the best, they'll be the posers who dress with a plastic idiots who they can be. Southern California doesn't breed them. If you just want the best, to do yourself for the rest. Forget about the ones who have it all.
If you really want to find something meaningful, forget about all that. Forget about the ones who have it all.
Be careful of the ones who have it all. Be careful of the ones who have it all.
Forget about the ones who have it all. I love this band. I mean, sometimes when I'm doing these reactions, it hits me stronger than when I'm just listening in my car while I'm doing other things and I have music on in the background. So yeah, it's been one of the enjoyable things about going on this run of doing videos and shooting reactions, where I'm coming to a new appreciation of tunes I've heard literally hundreds of times and I know I am already massively in love with. And the fact that I can be taken to a new tune by a level that's already, or taken to a new level by a tune that is already like in my sort of pantheon of like great tracks, is just a testament to sort of this format and the way that it forces my brain to kind of really sit down and just appreciate the nuances of a track. So and also to think about the lyrics, which obviously there's certain playlists where I'm doing where that's more relevant than others. Punk rock playlist probably more relevant than any other one. Obviously there are tracks in this playlist where I've talked for like 10 minutes in advance. Although I gotta say, still one of my favorite videos I ever shot was the Progress reaction for Bad Religion. And that one I think I talked for like 8 minutes or something before the track started. So it's weird, like I try not to overdo it, but at the same time I feel like some of these songs, they really do need to be dissected and discussed in terms of their themes. But yeah, let me know what you think of this one. Again, I'll come back for more recent Bad Religion soon, but it just felt like, I've been neglecting the punk rock playlist a bit, so it needed like a real strong tune to get back to it. So anyway, let me know what you think of the song. I will see you next time. Peace.